Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. I am getting down to the last of my small trees that I need to prune up before spring. This is more to document their journey, so maybe 10, 20 years from now, you'll be able to look at the playlist for each of these trees and see how they started, see all the work I've done on them over the years, and yeah, kind of guide you if you want to create your own bonsai. Here's a look at the trees I'll be working on today. So you can see most of them are just kind of young trees that just need a few cuts on them to get them going for spring. Nothing too major. I'm going to start today on my Crimson Hawthorn. So this tree is developing nicely. I got this from the Toronto Bonsai Society's fall show and sale. And I think it's going into year 2 now, and it's starting to get some nice branching on it. So one of the problems with this tree is I cut the top off here, and then I got another thick leader growing up and I cut it again, and I'm worried that it's a little heavy up top here, and I have 2 nice branches that fan out at the top. So I was thinking of cutting that entire middle section out and using these 2 branches to form my canopy, rather than keeping, a single trunk line going up into the apex of the tree. So I think that'll be my first cut, is to remove this thicker section up top. So here I go. I'll start by just rough cutting it here, like that. I have a little branch here, but I don't think I want to use that one. It would be too many divisions in one place, so that's getting removed. And then I'll clean up that cut, making it a little more flush. Like that. So now you can see the tree divides more nicely. It's a little more graceful and elegant looking, without that kind of thick stump coming up the middle. In future, as this heals, I could reduce this back a little further. I could do it today, I guess. Maybe take it back. Leaves a pretty big cut there, but I think that'll heal. It's up at the top of the tree. And I'll seal that with my rubber cement so it doesn't dry out too quickly. The rubber cement stays flexible as the wound heals, as it calluses over. Okay, so there's my first big cut done on the tree. So the rest of it is just a matter of pruning the branches back, keeping them compact so they get movement and subdivision. So I think this one is fine up top. I already have a division. I could prune just the tip off here, like that. The other branch is also not too bad. I've already pruned it in the summer. I'll just take the stub off the end. And I think this branch out the back is also okay. I'm just going to leave that as it is. This next branch got buds here, here, and here, and here. I'll just take the tip back a bit. I've got 2 branches going from one spot here, so I'll get rid of this little one. And all the other branches, the only kind of long one here is here. I will take it back, just take the tip off, and I think that's good. I think I'll leave the tree like that. Yeah, it looks a little more graceful, and it's set up to grow in spring. So that's the Crimson Hawthorn pruned up. The next tree I'll work on is, I believe it's a crabapple tree. I'm not 100% certain, but I think that's what it is. And you can see the main trunk line comes up, it divides into 2. I pruned it here and here, it's grown again. I pruned it here and once up here. So there's been some work done to this tree. At the bottom here I have a lower branch that climbs very high up into the canopy. And I've got to decide, do I want to grow that as a trunk line, having kind of, you know, 3 major trunks, or do I want to prune it shorter and keep it as a branch? And it's a difficult thing to decide. I think on crabapple trees, the growth is quite chaotic and they kind of grow, a lot of trees grow in this kind of more clump-like style. So I think I'll keep that style, but I will shorten everything. I've got a good outside bud here, so I'll take this one off here, like that. I can clean up my stub here. And then this one, I've got a good bud on the outside here, so I'll prune just above there, like that. And the back one, I'm looking for outward facing buds. I've got one way back here, so I think I'll prune it back to there. And then I can clean up this stub here, like that. And that's it. Oh, I've got a stub here I can clean up, my major division one. Yeah, like that. So that's got that tree all pruned up. And I will seal the cuts on this one also. Just I'll let it heal without drying out. So I'll just put some rubber cement on the top there, here. So there's a look at that tree. I'm not sure where the front will be yet, but I think it has a good basic structure to develop into the future. So onto the bench it goes. Here is a look at the next tree I'll be working on. And again, I'm not sure what kind of tree this is. Judging from the buds, yeah, I'm not really sure. But I'll prune it up. This branch coming up here, I've got a bud each side here, so I can prune it off here. This branch, I've got a bud here. I'm just looking for buds on the outside. I have one here, so I'll prune just the tip off. The main leader, it comes up. I've got buds here and here. I've got a strong one up here. I think I will prune it back to here. There's some icicles falling off the roof of the greenhouse. That's what that noise was. I think these branches are okay. There's a little one here. Not sure if it's even alive, but I'll leave it. These two are dead. This one's dead, and this stub up the center, so I can take that off. And I'll clean that cut up, making it a little more flush, like that. And then I have a branch here that I think is dead, and I don't think this one's alive either, so I'll take that one off, just keeping my trunk line. So there's that little tree pruned up. Oh, I've got a stub up top here I can remove. Better just clean that up a bit better. Like that. And I'll also seal my cuts up on this tree. That one. Yeah, a lot of these trees, they're just small little seedlings that I can't even remember where I got them from, and without the leaves on them they're kind of hard to tell what species they are. And I haven't, because they're so small, you don't really keep track of them. You're just kind of growing them, and then yeah, as it develops I'll start the playlist for them, and we'll see them progress into the future. So there's that little tree pruned up. The next tree is a red maple, and it's just a straight stick in the pot that goes very, very, very tall. So it'll be a one-cut prune today. So this tree is being pruned once down below here, once up here. So I clean that stub up, get rid of that. And then I've got to decide where am I going to prune it. So I'm looking for buds. I've got a set of buds right down here that I think I'll want to develop. And then I have another set up here. So I think I'll prune it above these ones, taking the whole top of the tree off. So these will develop in spring. I'll cut those off once they've hardened off and then develop these buds down lower. And I'll probably get some branches coming off this trunk line eventually also. So that's it for that red maple. It's all pruned up. The next plant I'm going to prune up is this flowering shrub. And everyone tells me in the comments what it is, and I can never remember the name of it, but it has these beautiful flowers on it. And it's a very small, skinny little tree, but it still gets those beautiful flowers. So I'm going to prune it up today. I'm going to go quite low on this tree, and it has a natural kind of clump style that I'll keep. So the thickest trunk line comes up. I've got buds here, 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 here. I have a division up top that I could keep. I think I will keep the division. I'll take my center stub out here. And then on this branch I've got buds here and here. So I'll prune it off here. Taking off the flowers which I've turned into seed pods. This one, I've got buds at the base here and then nothing until up here. So I'll prune it above there. Taking that top off. These little branches down below, I'll just tip prune them. And I'll prune this one here. Just shortening them. And then I've got another trunk line coming up here, and it has a division up here also, but I think that's too tall. I'd rather keep this as my primary trunk line and this is a secondary, so I'm going to prune this one back shorter. And I'm looking for buds on the outside, and there's some here, so I'll prune it off just above there. Like that. Taking that Y section off. So there it is. It's all pruned up, ready to grow in spring. And this one, you know, I might shorten it back eventually as it thickens up, and I'll probably get some branching down below this next year. Yeah, it's just a matter of letting it develop, see what happens, and yeah, keep reevaluating it every year and pruning it, and eventually it'll turn into something quite nice. The next tree I'll work on is this white ash tree. This tree was just a straight tall stick when I got it, and I did a big cut. It got some branching coming out down low. Yeah, and I did root pruning on it. So today I'm going to do some work on it. So I'm going to start by taking out these stubs in the middle here. They're dead. So that comes out. There's a stub here I can prune back. Like that. There's a stub on the end of this branch I can take off. Like that. So everything else is living now. So next I'm going to reduce these branches back. So you can see this one comes up. I've got buds down here and here. And maybe here too. So I'll take it off here. Take the tip off that branch. This one, I've got a bud on the outside here. I think I'll take it back to there. And then this one, I've got a bud on the outside down there, and I'll leave this one alone. So next, you can see where I did that big cut. It's starting to heal over. And I cut it on the angle hoping I would get a trunk coming out from here, and it never did. It came out everywhere but where I wanted. So I'm going to reduce that stump back. Just kind of carving it back to these two branches. So here I go. All the snow is sliding off the greenhouse roof. You can hear it in the background there. I think that is probably going to be it. So I will seal it up with the rubber cement again. It worked really well last time, preserving that wood and stopping the trunk from drying out. So that's sealed up. I'll also seal up all these other cuts I did. And that is it. The ash tree is pruned up. Yeah, not the greatest looking tree at the moment, but hopefully, you know, someday it'll turn into a nice looking tree. Here's a final look at the ash. I'll rotate it around. Yeah, I think it has some potential for the future. The next tree I'm going to prune up is another red maple. So I'll take that dead stump out from the middle here, like that. There's another stump here I can remove, and one here, like that. And then on this branch, I don't think I need to do any pruning. I could just take the tip off, like that. And on this one, I'll take the tip off here. And that's it. It's pruned up. Not much of a tree at the moment, but hopefully someday it'll look good. Next, I have some Eastern White Cedar or Thuja occidentalis seedlings. And I'm just going to prune them up. So I'll prune all these branches back, keeping them more compact. Shortening everything back to some good healthy foliage. Yeah, so I think that's got them pruned up. I've kept lots of foliage on them, so they'll grow nice and strong in spring. I could do a little pinch or tip pinching just to help create some subdividing, just so they stay a little more compact. Yeah, like that. And I think I could prune this one back. And this one can come back a bit. I think I better take this one back further too. Yeah, so that's got those three little trees pruned up. And they'll grow, and then, you know, next year I'll tackle the pruning again, and as I said, maybe they'll go in a forest. I have lots of these little thujas on the go, so I could create quite a nice forest out of them. The last tree I have today is a willow that I grew from a seed. It just germinated in one of my pots. I'm just cleaning up some of the stubs. There's a dead branch there. Another stub. So willows, I prefer to prune them when they're actively growing, and also the root pruning. I find if you root prune them in spring, they have a tough time getting going. But if I do it in the summer or warmer weather when the tree's actively growing, they seem to recover quickly and keep going. So on this tree, I prefer to leave the pruning till, you know, when it's leafed out and it's growing in spring. However, I can do some reduction. If I prune it now, they tend to die back like about this far. So if I prune it today, I would prune it quite high, and it might die back, and then in spring it'll flush out. So I'll do that. I'll just prune it back, taking the tips off. just so it takes up a little less space on the bench. And then when it leaves out in spring, I can do further pruning, reducing it back even further. But that's all I'd want to do on the willow at this time of year, is just kind of basically nothing. This weekend, the temperature is getting a little warmer. It's still well below freezing, but it's a lot warmer than we had. So I felt like going for a nice walk last night, and I'll show you what I videoed. Tonight's update is the Lights On Festival downtown. So let's go have a look at it. Here is the sculpture down by City Hall. Let's go inside and have a look. We're inside. Over here, they're serving snacks and hot drinks. And we've got a portal over here. It's the Stargate by Chalk River Labs. Oh, that's okay. There it is, the Stargate. Here's another light display on the side of a downtown building. And this one's interactive, so if we speak into here, we should get the lights to change. Let's see if they do. Hello! Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hello! I don't see any changes. Hello! Whoop, whoop, whoop. Doesn't seem to be much change.
You got a bit of color up at the top.
Okay. They do change, I've seen them. Sure. Oh, there it goes. Well, that works. Excellent. Up in the sky you can see the moon. There's the display. So why didn't I get it to work? Let me try again. I guess you gotta just talk a little louder. There I go. I made it change. So we're going to head down to the island now, in the middle of the lake, and check out the light display there. In the distance there, you can see my destination, the island. So it's quite a nice night for a walk here. It's snowing lately, and the temperature is minus 10 degrees Celsius, which feels really warm out because it's been like minus 15 to minus 17 degrees Celsius at night. So it feels quite warm and pleasant outside. So let's head over to the island. I have reached the island, so let's cross the bridge and check out the sights. Here we go, over the bridge. Wow, looks like we've got giant mushrooms down there. Here they are. Giant glowing mushrooms. I feel like I'm in the movie Avatar. And over here we have trumpet flowers. Let's go check them out. Here they are. I think we push down on these. Yeah. Let's see what this one does. I can imagine this would be very musical if this was busy. So that is the tour of the island. It is time to head back home now. I had a very enjoyable walk tonight. So off we go, back home. Above the royal oak tree, we've got a light show up in the tower of the courthouse. So that was the Festival of Lights. They put it on every year, and it's something interesting for the kids to do in the winter. We got a lot of snow again last night. I'll show you what it looks like outside now. This morning, because of the heavy snow we got last night, the greenhouse was covered in snow, but it's all sliding off now. Lets a lot more light into the greenhouse here, and it helps warm the greenhouse up a bit. So outside, we got quite a heavy snow last night. You can see it on all the benches and the trees. Yeah, it's pretty thick. It hasn't melted in a long time. We've been below freezing for a couple of weeks now, I think. Yeah, so that's the backyard. Lots and lots of snow. And I've been doing lots of shoveling of the driveway and lots of work keeping the poly house clear of snow. Under here is my northern bog forest. Today I pruned up a lot of the small trees I have on the go, so it's nice to get that done. I still have a few more trees to prune, some Douglas firs, my bird's nest spruce, and there might be a few in the poly house I have to work on, and maybe the larch forest and the avatar grove. So I still have some work to go before I finish pruning all my trees for spring. And then I think, it'll be time to start working on the tropical trees. They're starting to grow with a lot of vigor in the plant room. So that is all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.